Things took a darker turn when a supposed HOA contractor came onto our property under the guise of maintenance inspections. My grandfather, always cautious, was watching from the porch when the man, seemingly careless and aggressive, accidentally crushed his leg with a piece of heavy equipment. Panic and fear spread across the yard, and I immediately called for medical assistance. The contractor tried to justify his actions as standard procedure, but my family had already begun documenting everything. Before the authorities even arrived, my cousins, several of them veterans and highly trained in defensive tactics, roared up on Harleys, their motorcycles shaking the ground like thunder. The contractor froze, and Karen's family members scattered as my cousins calmly but firmly secured the perimeter. The contractor attempted to argue, but with cameras recording and the veterans standing guard, there was no room for bluffing. The threat evaporated within moments, leaving Karen nowhere to hide. Karen herself, enraged and desperate, tried to assert control in person. She stormed the driveway, shrieking about fines, rules, and imaginary violations. I calmly confronted her, showing the authorities documentation and our evidence of her repeated harassment. She faltered as the sheriff arrived, having been called by my neighbors who witnessed the chaos. For the first time, Karen realized that her tactics, threats, intimidation, and fake enforcement had no effect on people with both legal authority and military experience. Not satisfied with one attempt, Karen escalated her tactics. She blocked my father's critical medicine delivery, claiming it violated some HOA storage regulation. That move backfired spectacularly when I immediately contacted the FBI. Within hours, agents were on site, reviewing her threats and recording her every word. Her face, once smug, turned pale. For all her years of bullying neighbors, she had never faced consequences from federal law enforcement before, and it showed. Karen then shifted to targeting my family directly. She tried forcing my wife and grandfather into her absurd rules while I was away, assuming she could intimidate them. She didn't know that my grandfather, a retired major general, had trained his entire family in tactical awareness and legal strategy. Every attempt she made to assert control was countered calmly but decisively. Her authority evaporated like smoke in the wind. One particularly audacious move came when Karen attempted to seize our pool and ban me from fishing on our own lake. She was clearly overestimating her HOA's reach. I reminded her that the property, water, and surrounding land were fully ours, and she had zero legal basis to intervene. Each subsequent action she tried, from claiming rooms in the cabin to attempting surveillance on our movements, failed miserably. My cousins, strategically stationed around the property, documented her every move. Her desperation culminated in a full-blown confrontation with the police. She called 911 multiple times, claiming threats and harassment, but every officer who arrived could clearly see that she was the instigator. Every attempt she made to manipulate law enforcement was exposed by our meticulous record-keeping and prepared statements. She couldn't hide behind fake authority anymore. The law was on our side. Even more shocking was the moment she reportedly tried to escalate physically. Rumors spread that she had threatened my family directly, and perhaps even attempted to use a weapon. She had no idea that I commanded a SWAT team and that several family members were highly trained in defensive and tactical operations. The very thought of confrontation caused her to retreat almost immediately. Her threats dissolved under the weight of experience, strategy, and authority. By the end of this chapter, Karen was humiliated, jobless, and exposed to every neighbor and authority figure in the area. Her attempt to control, intimidate, and manipulate had backfired spectacularly. Our family had turned what could have been a tragic incident, my grandfather's injury, into a demonstration of discipline, preparedness, and law enforcement coordination. Karen learned, finally and painfully, that authority built on fear and deception could never survive when faced with real, unified, and strategic opposition. From that moment on, Karen's name became synonymous with failure in the neighborhood. Every overreach, every fake fine, and every attempt at intimidation only strengthened our resolve. We didn't just defend our property, we sent a message. Crossing my family, armed with legal, military, and tactical knowledge, was a mistake no one should ever repeat.